of higher education in Vietnam. Today we are presenting how to get students engaged in an online reading class presented by Mr. Nguyen. So just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to type them on the public chat here. And we will also have time for questions at the end. As for our topic today, you know, how to conduct a successful reading class has been a challenge for many teachers, especially at this time when the COVID-19 epidemic is posing an urgent demand on the part of the teachers to be even more creative and well-equipped with adequate technological skills to deliver e-lessons. Many resulting problems arise as to how much of what we have been using in a traditional class can be applied in an online class. How to maximize learners' talking time and interaction, and especially how to increase their active participation in lessons. These problems grow even more serious in the case of a reading class, where getting students to willingly read a text and answer around 10 to 15 questions is a really tough mission for teachers. Let alone our wish to sow the seed of a long-term passion for reading in them. So this webinar, therefore, I'm sharing some experience and activities that get students more involved in the reading process and thus increase the active participation in an online reading class. Now, without further ado, we will turn the time over to our presenter today. Mr. Ngoc is currently a teacher of Hoa Trang University, Vietnam. His accumulated experience from working for over 10 years at various educational institutions, including high schools, university, and language centers, has inspired him to develop a passion for it and equipped him with ample confidence and skills in language teaching. He graduated TESOL from Ho Chi Minh City University of Pedagogy in 2005 and received his MA degree from Canberra University, Australia in 2009. With a willing mind to learn and make adaptations, he has always been researching ways to make his teaching and learning English a fruitful and interesting experience for his students. Now over to you, Mr. Nam.
Okay, thank you, Ms. No, for a very informative introduction. And hi, everyone. It's great to see all of you here. You know, it's a great honor for me to be the presenter in the webinar series of Hoa Trang University. And first of all, I would like to say something about this webinar. As all of you may know, the pandemic is no longer as serious in some parts of the world, like Vietnam, as it was a few weeks ago. But the experience that we can gain from it is invaluable. And I think it's worth hosting such webinars like this so that we can share our experience and improve our teaching in an online class. Okay. Having said that, I think that I'm going to host this webinar today as a sharing workshop so that we can have further discussion on the issue of teaching reading. And hopefully the experience and the activities that I share with you today will somehow be applicable in your online and offline classes. Okay, so first of all, let's look at the content of the webinar today. Everyone, I'm going to share my screen with you. So please tell me if you can see my screen. I'm sorry, let's see. Okay, everyone, please tell me if you can see the screen that I'm sharing with you or not. Yes. Yeah. It's a PowerPoint slide, right? It's about the content of today's webinar. Yeah.
Now we
Okay.
just see your whole screen, but not the PowerPoint now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
Let me share the screen again.
it's still multiple screen.
Oh my God. All right. Let me do it again.
You need to click
Uh,
on the PowerPoint and
yeah. Yeah. I know. I know. There's some problem. Okay. I hope that you can see it now. Yes or
now
no?
not yet, not yet.
Oh my God.
Maybe the
Uh,
Wi-Fi is weak.
yeah. I clicked share already, but maybe it
It's
takes some
sorry.
time.
Yeah, okay, now I can see it.
Yeah, maybe it
In
takes some
Beijing,
time.
student in reading. Yeah, we can see it
Yeah,
now.
that's right. Like, it's okay now, right? So
Okay.
today, first of all, we are going to look at some beliefs and principles underpinning the teaching of reading. And after that, I'm going to demonstrate some activities that hopefully help arouse student interest and encourage their active participation in a reading class, in an online reading class. Okay, and after that, at the end of the webinar, we will have a Q&A session, right? So the first activity that I would like to invite all of you to join with me today is you will look at some pictures I show. These pictures describe the problems that I usually have in my reading class. So you are going to answer the question that I'm going to put in the public chat, whether you have the same problems that I have in my class or not. So these are the pictures that I would like to show you. Yeah. And my question is, do you have the same problems in your class or not, either in an online or offline class? So please say yes or no uh, to show your answer. Huh? So I'm gonna leave this poll for about 1 minute so that everyone can have their choice. We have a lot of participation here. Okay. Hmm. I have not seen the answer from some other attendees like Ms. Phương Nhi, Mr. Ngọc Tiến, Ms. Ngọc Oanh, and Ms. Trang Lâm. Can you share your experience with me, whether you have the same problems or not? Okay. All right. So because of the lack of time, I think that I'm going to move on, but let me show you the polling results. All right. It doesn't come up. Okay. So according to what I can see here, the polling results show 60% of you say that you have the same problems as I do. Okay. This 60% tells me that we really take the teaching of reading very serious. And the teaching of reading is really one of the most challenging part of our job. Okay, so in order to arouse the student interest in an online or offline class, I think that we first need to understand the nature, the basic nature of the reading process. We need to know what we want to teach our student. Okay, so the next activity that I would like to invite all of you to do with me is that I'm going to have you tell me a little more details about your experience with the teaching of reading. So I'm going to uh, put two questions in the public chat box. Okay, and and then I will create some breakout rooms, and I would like all of you to join the breakout rooms, and you will have about 10 minutes to discuss the two questions that I'm going to put in the public chat box. Okay, so everyone, please tell me if you can see the two questions that I displayed in the public chat box. Yeah, all right. So you will answer two questions. You will discuss two questions, right? How would you describe your experience with the teaching of reading? And what makes a reading class interesting? Okay. You will have 10 minutes to discuss. And please click join when I send the invitation to you to join the breakout rooms. Everybody, are you ready? No, we will not say yes or no here. We will say we will have some reflection, yeah, more detailed reflection in form of a discussion in the breakout rooms. This is also what I usually do with my student in the class. I usually have them discuss about a general topic at the beginning of the lesson. So imagine that you all here are my student, and I will help you discuss the two questions here in the breakout rooms, okay? So you have 10 minutes, all right? Now, everybody, please remember the two questions because once you enter the breakout rooms, you can no longer see the two questions, right? So try to remember the two questions so that you know what to discuss once you enter the breakout rooms. Okay. So I will give you 10 minutes to discuss the two questions here. Yeah. And everybody ready, huh?
Yes, I'm listening, Mr. Lam. There's only me in my breakout room, so I cannot discuss with anyone. Hello, can you hear me? I'm talking, Mr. Nam.
Okay, hello everyone. I hope that you had a very interesting discussion with your partner in the breakout rooms. Yes or no? We are back in the main room now. Everyone, can you hear me? Yes? Okay, that's great. So now I cannot ask each of you to give me your own opinions about the two questions there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start another poll and I would like you to choose the answer. Okay, so the question that I would like you to answer in the next poll is this. Can everyone see the question that I have just put in the public chat? Which of the following is the key factor in arousing student interest in a reading class? Okay, so you can choose either A, B, C, or D when I start the poll. Huh? No, can you see the question that I just put in the chat? Yeah, okay, that's good. So everyone, when I start a poll, please choose your answer, huh? Either A, B, C, or D, right? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this poll one more minute so that everyone can have their own choice. And let's see which is the most chosen choice among the four here. We're still waiting for about 20, some more answer from the attendees. Yeah.
Mr. Nam,
Yeah.
someone asked if they can choose that one, but no, right? Because you decide it one only. When I click
Only
on,
one
yeah.
answer.
So sorry,
Only
miss,
one answer.
only one. Because when I click on one choice and then the poll disappear. Yeah.
That's it because it is the only the one choice
Yeah,
question.
Miss
You can only choose one
can
of
you
them.
click on it again? So Miss Funyi, can you click on the poll at the right corner at the bottom so that Mr. Nam can, it's an automatic calculation. Yeah, thank you, Miss. Yeah, thank you, Miss Yi and Mr.
We're okay. I think that I'm going to show you the polling results now because we are running out of time, right? And we have a lot of things to ahead. So according to what I can see right now, I can see that there are 44% of you saying that C is the key factor. So all of us agree that the teacher plays the key role in arousing the student interest, in raising their motivation, in not only, I believe, reading class, but in other skill class and any other class. Okay, but the problem is how can we, as we know, we plays the key role, but how can we raise the student interest? I think in order to do this, we need first to understand the nature of the reading process. okay, and what principles are underpinning the teaching of reading so that we can design our lesson accordingly. So the next activity that I would like all of you to join with me is I'm going to, okay, share the screen with you again. And we are going to learn a little bit about how we usually read something, okay? So I'm going to share my window again with you, and hopefully you can see it. Okay, everyone, can you see, yeah, can you see the PowerPoint slide that I'm sharing? Great. Okay, everyone can see it. All right. So we are going to learn about how we usually read something. And to do this activity, I would like to invite one of you to join this activity with me. Can any one of the attendees would like to join the activity with me? Let me tell you what we will do. I'm going to show you a sentence, and you will have to read aloud this sentence in 1 second. Remember, you have only 1 second to read aloud this sentence. So you have to read as quickly as possible. Okay? Yeah. Can anyone, would anyone want, like to join this activity with me? Yeah. Can I now please invite Mr. Thien? Mr. Thien, can you join this activity with me? Yeah. Mr. Thien, can you hear me well?
Can I try? I'm Nguyen. Can I try?
Oh yeah. You're welcome. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah. So you know what to do, huh? I'm going to show you a sentence, and you have to read the sentence as quickly as possible in 1 second. Okay. This is the sentence I would like you to read. Everyone, you can do it. Okay. Are you ready, Lynn?
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. Oh.
Sorry. So I need to read the question in here.
Yeah, of course, you have to read that sentence. It is a question. Okay. Now
It is a question.
Again.
Okay. Okay. Do that again.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, go.
How quickly can you read and understand this?
Okay. Very quick, very fast, very fast. Okay. Do you think it's easy or difficult to read this sentence?
You asking
do you
me?
think it's yeah. Do you think it's easy or difficult to read this sentence?
Not so easy.
Not so easy. Okay. Now I have another challenging, even more challenging task for you because you have done the first one. So now you do the second. I will show you another item, and you will have to read this item in 1 second. But it is not a sentence. It is just a combination of words.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. So let's see if you can do it better than the first time you did. Okay, are you ready? Everyone else, you can do this activity on your own, on your device. Okay, you can try this activity, but Celine will demonstrate this activity for us. This is the phrase that I would like Celine to read. Celine, are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready. Again.
Again. 1, 2, 3, go.
Jam hot pin called it tap sun pick.
Okay. Do you think it's easy or even more difficult than the first one?
Of course, harder.
More difficult, right? More challenging.
Yeah, okay, more challenging.
It's much harder for you to do.
Yeah.
Link, why can you share with me why you think the second one is more challenging than the first one?
In my opinion, the second one does not make sense.
That's right.
That's why. Okay.
Okay, that's right. So you see that even though you know each of the words in the second item, right? But you still you cannot read it fast. And you see that the number of words in the second item is just the same as in the first one. Okay, but you cannot read it fast. 8 words. Okay, so what's the point here? What I want you to draw your attention to is this. What really affects the time we needed to read a text is the number of sense units We are looking for the sense unit, not the words and the letters themselves. Okay, and we want our student to understand this. And that's why in my reading class, I will use this activity as the first activity to help my student understand the process, the reading process. All right. Now I have another activity for all of you to do. I will show you an image in which there is a phrase of word, but you will have 10 seconds to recognize the words in that phrase for me. Okay. And I know that some of you are very good at reading. So maybe some of you know the answer already. So if you happen to know the answer, please keep silent so that you can give other attendees a chance to guess what the phrase is. Okay, after 10 seconds, I will tell you the answer. All right. So please don't say the answer right away if you know the answer. Huh? So everybody, are you ready? Let's try another task. This is the image I want you to look at, and can you tell me what you see in this image? Please keep silent. Just imagine the answer in your mind. Okay, just think about the answer in your mind. Don't say it right now because we want to give those who have not recognized this phrase a chance. Right? So, how many of you cannot recognize this? If you cannot recognize the phrase here, please type no in the chat in the public chat box. Let's see how many of you cannot recognize this phrase. Yeah, yeah, many of you, it's you. Okay, so yeah, you see, it's very difficult for us to recognize the first word in the phrase, right? I think you know the second word. Some of you can recognize the second part, but the first part is so challenging. It's unclear. Now I will show you a sentence. Let's see if you can work out what the phrase in the image I have just shown you is. Okay, this is the sentence that contains the phrase. All right. So can you read this sentence and tell me what the phrase you can see in the image is? She's a natural teacher, and it was a pleasure to have blah, 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 us. So what the phrase is? Exactly. Thank you, Miss Mai. Yeah, I can see a lot of you can recognize. Yeah, her with, right? Her with. So what is happening here? Why can't you recognize the phrase in the image at first? Why you couldn't do it at first? But when you look at the sentence and you can work out what the phrase is, it is because you are using a technique that we usually employ, we usually manipulate in our reading process. Okay, what is it? Although understanding some words is necessary to get the meaning of a text, we don't usually read word by word. We skip words and even ignore words in order to make sense of the whole more quickly. Okay, this is very important, and I think that our students should know this. But you need to create an activity for them to understand this nature of the reading process. If you just tell them by mouth, they will not believe you. You need to prove this to them. And I also conduct this activity in my reading class at the beginning to convince the student. And in fact, what we have just done was we use a combination of the top-down and bottom-up processing. We employ our intelligence, our experience, and our expectations of the content and the genre of the text in the top-down processing, while the bottom-up processing usually involves recognizing and decoding the multiplicity of the linguistic signals. Okay, so I want to ask you one more question. Okay, one more question before we move on. Do you think top-down and bottom-up processes, which one is more important in the reading process? Okay, I will give you three options. A, the top-down process. B, the bottom-up process. And C, both of them are equally important. So please choose your answer. A, B, or C, huh? Everyone. Yeah, I can see most of you choose C. Wow, amazing, amazing. You're so good teachers. You're excellent teachers. You know exactly what you should do with your student in a reading class, right? Yeah. In fact, you say that we usually have to use both of these processes in teaching the student. And now, before moving on to some practical activities that I use in my classroom, we will look a bit more at the principles underpinning the teaching of reading. I think it is very important for us to know these principles on which we can build up our lesson plan more effectively. Okay, so another activity for all of you. Okay, I'm going to show you the 6 principles that I read from the experts. And you will read the 6 principles here and help me to complete the sentences with the missing words. Okay, everybody, are you ready? Yeah. I'm sorry, I need to share the screen now. So, yeah. Everybody, please wait a bit for me because I'm going to share my screen with you. Oops. Okay, everyone, please tell me if you can see the screen that I share with you now. Yes or no? Ms. No, do you see the screen that I share with you? Yes, exactly. Huh? So these are the 6 principles underpinning the teaching of reading. Can you please read the 6 principles here and tell me the missing words in each sentence? I will leave 1 minute. I will leave you 1 minute to do this activity. Huh? After 1 minute, you students will tell the teacher the answer. Okay. Wow, Miss Hương Trang, you did a very good job. Yeah. What about other students in my class? What do you think the answers are? Wow, productive. Amazing. Yeah. It seems that you have the same answers here. Yeah, perceptive from Thien. Yeah, great answer. Okay, as this is a challenging task, so I'm going to leave you half a minute. Okay, 30 more seconds. Only 30 more seconds. Yeah, Miss Thao, you said it's exploring for number 6. Exactly. Mai Trần, yes, you did a very good job, Miss Mai. Prediction. Well, I think it's time for me to show you the answer now. Okay. So, number 1 is passive. Okay. Reading is not a passive skill. Okay. And secondly, students need to be engaged in what they are reading. Students should be encouraged to respond not only to the content of a reading text, but the language also. And prediction is one of the major skills that the student needs to develop in the reading process. This is what we need to focus on teaching. Okay. And number 5, we need to match the task to the topic. And I really love the last principle here. And this is what I usually try my best to do when I teach the student to read. Good teachers must exploit the reading text to the full. So we don't just ask the student, oh, please read the text and do the true or false question or answer the question for me. No, we have to make use of what is in the text. And we have to help the student to explore the written text to the full. Okay, so we have done a lot of activities related to the theory. Now let's jump to the practical activities. Okay, imagine that all of you we have to teach your student we have to teach your student a long reading text like this. This is a reading passage taken from an upper intermediate textbook. You see that the reading is rather long, and the special thing about this passage is it contains a lot of new words. Okay, so if you ask the student to just read and do the task, I'm afraid that the student will not do it. They are not willing, they are not ready to do the task. So I'm going to demonstrate some activities related to the top-down processing and the bottom-up processing in order to encourage their interest in this reading. So the first activity related to the top-down processing, okay? You know that in the top-down processing, we need to help the student to approach the reading text from a broader perspective, right? Yeah, so I would like all of you to join this activity. I am going to put some links in the public chat box, and I want all of you to go to one of the links that I put in the public chat and do the task set before. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to make a picture. You have to create a picture from many different pieces. And after you make the picture, you will guess the hidden word for that picture. Okay, but because we have 5 links and I want to make use of all of the links that I put in the public chat. So can I please ask, we have about 36 or 35 users here. I would like to invite the first 7 users on the list here to go to link number 1 and the next 7 users to go to link number 2. Everybody, you understand the idea here? So that we can make use of all of the links. Huh? So the first 7 or 8 users will use the first link, and the next 7 or 8 users will use the second link, and so on. Okay, yeah. Maita, do you have any question for me? Do you get the idea that I of what I want you to do? Yes or no? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to put the link. The user away always sees their name on the top. I know that. Oh, that's a problem here. So, okay, let's just choose one of the links. In fact, in my class, I'm going to assign a group of students to each of the link here, but I think it's going to take a lot of time for us to break you into the breakout rooms. I'm sorry, to put you into the breakout rooms to do this activity. So, okay, we just choose one of the links that I put in the public chat. Okay. All right. Let me start sharing the screen and I will put the link in the public chat now. Just a second, please. All right. So everybody, you can choose one of the links here. Yeah. To do the task, I will leave you 5 minutes to do this task. Set in the link here. Okay, everybody, are you carrying on with the links, with the task in the link? Please give me some feedback. Say yes or no. I just want to check if the link works well for you. Yes, okay, that's great to hear. Yes, okay, just keep on doing what you are doing. I will leave you 2 more minutes, all right? Seems that I'm running out of time, but I have 2 more activities to show you in this webinar. Okay, everybody, are you finished? Yes or no? Have you got the hidden word for the picture? Somebody is typing. Wow, wow. Mr. Yoon. Wow, not yet. Miss Yulin have not finished. Some more minutes. Okay, okay. I will leave you 2 more minutes to do this task. Miss Mai, wow, you are an expert. Yeah, that's right. Okay, everyone, are you finished? Wow, Miss Thảo Ying and Miss Khánh Duyên, you did a good job. Yeah, I'm afraid that I cannot wait for you any longer because because we are running out of time. But you get the idea of how to do this activity, right? So I'm going to come to the answers now. Yeah. So these are the pictures that I want you to make, and there are some phrases connected to the pictures that you can see here. So anybody, if you do picture number 1, then you will see the hidden words are right. Pre-existing or challenge, I don't remember, but yeah, something like this. So now what I want you to do is this. You see that all of these are the activities that we usually do in our everyday life, okay? But what do you think will drive us to do these activities? Can you think of a word that tells you something that encourages you to carry out these activities in our real life? What is it? Can you tell me? Wow, Miss Tao. Yeah, you're so fast, so fast. Okay, curiosity. That's right. So you see that I've just demonstrated an activity in which I used in my reading class to help the student approach the reading text. In fact, all of the phrases you see here are, you can find all of the phrases here in the reading text, and each of them is in one of the paragraph of the reading text. Okay. If you don't have enough time to design such complicated activities like this, you can design something much simpler. You can use the picture and the title and the subtitle just above the reading text in the book to arouse student interest in the reading. How can we do this? We can just ask the student, please look at a picture, look at the title, and look at the subtitle, and think about the text. You have to give them very specific questions. They have to know what specifically you want them to do. So for me, I usually give them a task like this. Which of the following will be discussed in the reading? And I will give them a list of headings or main ideas. Okay, And I will ask them to choose the main ideas or the headings that they think will be discussed in the reading according to what they see in the picture here, according to the title and the subtitle they read. Okay. You know what? I want to share with you an experience. The first time I carried out this activity in my class, I had a problem. Yeah. Can anybody tell me what other problem you think I may have had when I first carried out this activity in the class? Can anybody share, guess what problem I had? Yeah. The problem with this is reading in the textbook usually have the title. Of course, you will show your student the title, you show the student the image, you show the student the subtitles. Okay. You can use either the image or the title and the subtitles to arouse student interest. Okay. Does anyone else have any reason to read? No, I don't ask the student to read the text right now. We are still in the warm-up activity, in the pre-reading stage. So the students are not reading the text now. Okay. So in fact, the problem that I have with this task, you see, look at the points I give them. If the student is cunning, they are naughty, they just choose all of the headings here and they can get half of the top score without having to try to think. They don't have to think critically to choose the headings here. Okay, they just simply choose all of the headings and they can get points. Right, that's the problem. So what I ask them to do is I will limit the number of options that they can choose. For example, 5 or 6 headings only, or 5 or 6 main ideas only, so that they cannot cheat in this task. Okay, so I have just introduced to you the first 2 activities that I usually employ in my reading class to arouse the student interest, and they are much more related to the top-down processing. Now let's move on to another activity, which will be more related to the bottom-up process. Okay. In order to do this activity, I will have to ask you to work in groups again, but I'm afraid that we don't have enough time. So I'm going to choose some of the users here to perform this activity, okay, to demonstrate this activity. So I'm going to choose Ms. Thảo Yên. Yeah, Thảo Yên, huh? I just simply choose the first 5 users I can see on the list here on my left column. So Ms. Thảo Yên, Ms. Hồng Thắm, yes, Mr. Yoon, Ms. Ha, and Ms. Ling, and Ms. Thu Dung. Yeah, okay. So the first 2 for 6 users will join this activity with me. Okay, attendees, are you ready? Yeah. What about Ms. Thu Dung and Ms. Ha? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So I'm afraid that you have to turn on your microphone to speak. So what I want you to do is I am going to choose one of you as a presenter for your team, and I will send you a list of words. Okay. I want you to describe the words that you can see to your friends and make them say the word. You can use synonyms, you can use antonyms, you can use paraphrasing or even relative clause in order to explain the meaning of the word, but you cannot use family word. Okay? Yeah, you get the idea, everyone?
Yes.
Yes or no? Yeah. Okay. Remember how you cannot use family word. You can only use other like synonyms or antonyms, right? So I'm going to choose Ms. Thảo Yên. Thảo Yên, are you there? I can tell the answer. No, you don't. You mean that you cannot use a microphone. Thảo Yên, you cannot use a microphone, right? So I cannot choose you as the presenter. So I'm going to choose Miss Ha. Yeah, Miss Ha or Miss Lin. Would you like to be the presenter for your team?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I'm going to send you a list of words right now. And I would like you to look at the list of words and describe the words to your friend in 2 minutes. Okay. This is the list of words that I want Miss Lin to describe to her team. Wait for me a bit. Yeah. Okay, Miss Lin, can you see the list of words that I've just shown you?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I sent it to Miss Ha. No, Miss Ha, not Miss Lin. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Miss Ha. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it
Yeah,
now.
okay. So now what I want you to do is to describe the word in 2 minutes, okay? Do it as fast as you can, as many words as
Okay.
you can, right? And now, are you ready? Wait for me. Yeah, I will count the time for you here. You can look at the time. 1, 2, 3, start.
Okay, so in District 7, there is something called Ansao. What is it? Oh, no, sorry. No, that's the noun. What is it? Hello?
Everyone, you can say or you can type your answer.
In District
Yeah.
7, there's something called Ansao. What is it? So are we okay with that? Can I move on with the next one?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so on this channel, you can watch many things. For example, you can watch explorers, countries around the world, geography, many things in this channel.
Yeah, that's right. Very good. Good job.
Okay, are we
Discovering
okay
it,
with
right?
that? Okay,
Yeah.
right. The next
Go
one.
on.
Okay. There's a IQ test. It tests your. What does it test? It tests your.
What is it? What is it?
What does it test? It tests your.
IQ.
Something.
It's what it is.
Are we good with that? Can I move on with the next one?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. There are many. In life, there are many things that you have to overcome. What are they? difficult things that you have to overcome. They are
Obstacles or difficulties.
Close. There's another word for that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll try another one. You don't show off. You're not showing off. You're not proud of what you have achieved. You're being very. You're not showing off.
Wow. Humble. Great
Yes.
word. Humble, right? Okay. Thank you, Miss for your effort.
Yes.
In carrying out this activity with me. Okay.
Yes.
So you can see that what I just did with you is what I did in my reading class. We can ask the student to describe the words to each other. So what is the purpose of this activity? I would like to check if the student, how many vocabulary items in the reading the student can understand. No, but it seems that I missed my goal because the student will focus on describing the words they know only, and they will ignore the words that they don't know. So how can I teach them the new words? Because this activity just help them to focus on the words they know already. Okay, so this is just the first step in the activity that I want the student to do. The second step, I'm going to provide them with a list of definitions like this, and they will have to choose the words from the list to complete this list of definitions and meanings. Okay, see that? Yeah. Okay, but things do not stop here, because if you just stop here, the student just know the meaning of separate words, but they don't know how to use these words. You see that in the list here, I not only give them the meaning, but I also show them the word class. So what is it for? The next step in this activity is I will ask the student to use these words to complete some paragraphs taken from the reading text. Okay, so in this case, the student have to use their knowledge about the word class. That is part of the bottom-up process, yeah, to complete the closed test here. And they will do it in competition with other teams. So you see that they not only learn the new words, but they read the text in preparation for the tasks that follow. Okay, yeah. So this is an activity that I usually carry out in the class with my student. Another activity that I usually do with them is this one. Okay, it seems that I'm running out of time now. So please just give me about 5 more minutes. I'm going to demonstrate this activity with you. So it looks like a closed test again, but if you ask the student to do the same, they will be bored. They will not do it. Okay, so I made some changes to the task, to the activities here. This time, they don't complete the closed test, the closed text with the provided words, but they will have to read aloud this text and guess what words are missing. Okay, so I'm going to give them hints in this way. The word that I want them to work out is blurred. And they are going to read the passage here, the paragraph here, to work out what the plural words are. Okay, and I will hold a competition among the groups. They have to read, they have 2 minutes to prepare for this activity. They can practice reading aloud this paragraph together in about 2 to 3 minutes. And then I will hold a competition among them, and I will ask them to read the text as fast as possible. Okay, so in this way, the student not only use their bottom-up processing, but also they can get prepared for the tasks that follow this activity. So everyone, can you do this activity with me? Can you read the paragraph here and guess the words that are blurred in this paragraph? I give you 1 minute to do this. Okay. Can you guess the word? Yeah, the first word is heard. Yeah. Saying. Thien did a very good job. Okay. Anyone else have the answer? Wow, Miss Mai. So impressive. Okay. Yeah. Anyone else? I will leave you 1 more minute. Okay. Yeah, Ms. Thien did a very good job again. Important, well, yeah, that's right. Okay, now I would like you to read this paragraph aloud for me. Can anyone help me to do this? Mai, can you do this for me? Yeah, can you read aloud the text here? Okay, thank you, Mai.
Can you
Let's
hear me?
see how, yeah, I can hear you very well. Let me time your reading, okay? Are you ready?
Yeah, ready.
1, 2, 3, go.
Perhaps you've heard the old saying, curiosity kills the cat. It's a phrase that often used to describe people, especially children, not to ask too many questions. Yet it is not generally, I don't know, agree that curiosity actually makes learning more effective, I guess, and
Yeah.
important, encouraging and effective. In fact, research has shown that curiosity is just as important as intelligence
Mm-hmm.
in
Mm-hmm.
determining how well students do in school.
Wow. Very good job. Thank you, Mai, very much. So what do you think I want the student to get here? Is it important that they can tell me the exact words in this paragraph? Yes or no? Everyone say yes or no in the public chat. Do you think that what I want them to do is to tell me exactly the words in the missing blank here? No, it is not what I want them to do. Of course, if they can give me the correct words, it's great. But it's also okay for the student to give me some other words than the word expected in this paragraph because they are using their mind, their bottom-up processing to think critically. Okay, this is what I want them to do. I'm trying to involve the student in the reading process. Okay, and let's see if you can answer the following question after you done this activity. Tell me what is the answer to this question. What is the main idea of this paragraph? I've tried this activity with my friends and it works very well. I think my student can answer this question, so you can answer this question also. D, với tôi nữ, you choose D. Wow. Of course, some of you may have different answers. Some of them may be right, some of them may be wrong. Thank you, Mr. Tung. Yeah, yeah, makes sense of the reading text. That's right. That's what I'm focusing on. And you can see that after reading this, they can choose the answer for, of course, not all of the students, but the majority of them can choose the correct answer as answer B, right? Curiosity is a crucial factor in the learning process. Okay, yeah. So you see, I have just demonstrated some activities that we can do with the student to arouse their interest in the reading text. And you can design different activities for different paragraphs in the reading. So in this way, you not only have students read the text, but learn something from it. Okay, and they can develop their critical thinking, their critical skill, thinking skill also. All right. In fact, I have one more activity to demonstrate, but I think I'm going to show it to you, but I don't have enough time to demonstrate it. This is the next activity I also usually use in my class. You see, this is another closed test, and I have to make changes to the closed test here. I will ask my student to do something else. As you know, the student can easily get bored with what they have done. So this is a new task that I want you to do. It looks similar, but it's not different. Okay, so I will ask them to read this paragraph again. This time, they will have to use another skill. Look at this. Can you tell me the words here? What do you see? Some of you start writing now. Mirror writing. Wow, exactly. That's it. Okay. And I will conduct this activity with my student in my class. I will ask them again to read aloud this paragraph. Because if you don't ask them to read aloud, they just focus on the yellow words. But what I want them to do is to read the paragraph to get the main idea. So when they read aloud, they not only work out the yellow word, what they are, but also understand somehow, get the general meaning of this paragraph. Okay, and of course I will time their reading and I will hold a competition among them. So you see, these are some of the activities that I would like to share with you today. And um, again, we have to be very flexible and we have to make sure that our lesson help students to combine the top-down and bottom-up process because they are the two major factors in the reading process. Okay, so I hope that my activities and my experience will be helpful for you in either your online or offline classes. I think that is the time is running out now, so we have about 20 more minutes for the Q&A session. So if you have any question to ask me, please type your question in the public chat, and we can discuss together. Thank you, Ms. Ha. Thank you, Ms. Mai. Yeah, I hope that they are useful for you. Thank you, Ms. Dung. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Ms. Thảo Yên. Thank you, Ms. Chang. Is there any it doesn't have to be me to answer the question, but you can raise any question that you think needs discussing so that we can share our experience together. As I told you from the beginning of this webinar, I would like to hold this webinar as a sharing workshop rather than just as a webinar. So if you have any question, please raise the question so that we can have discussion together. Thank you, Ms. Mai. Thank you, Mr. Tai. Yeah. Let's wait for about 5 more minutes. Ms. No, let's wait for about 5 more minutes so that if okay, I can see a question from Ms. Yulin right now. Yes or no? Yeah. Is there any activity to help students practice reading and getting the whole idea of the paragraph? I think that some of the activities I've just demonstrated to you can help you answer this question already. So in fact, each of the paragraph that I've just demonstrated in the activity in my presentation, each of them is a paragraph taken from the reading text. So you can make adaptations to it. You can, instead of focusing on the words, you want the student to focus on the main idea. And we know that usually the main idea is carried in the first or the last sentence of the paragraph. So I believe that you know how to make changes to the activities that I've just demonstrated so that you can help students focus more on the main idea. Okay. Is there any other question? Thank you, Ms. Khánh Duyên. Yeah. Ms. Thanh Liên has a question for me. These activities work for all levels, teacher? I think that it depends on the levels that you can increase or decrease the difficulty of the activity. But as you can see, if you hold these activities in your class, they will help involve the majority of the students. Yeah. Whether the student can do it or not depends on the difficulty of the reading text and what you want them to focus on. So, Thanh Liên, are you satisfied with my answer? I think that the activities here can be carried out in most of the levels, not only for higher level, but at lower level you can also do this. But maybe the task will be a little easier or a little more challenging. Yeah. Thank you for your question. Is there any other issues that you want to raise? Okay. What are the aspects that make a full reading session? So we got the answer from the question from Ms. Ha. What are the aspects that make a full reading session? Ms. Ha, can you explain it a little bit more? I don't really quite get what you want me to answer.
Yeah. So you said that you always try to explore the reading text to its full, right?
Yeah.
So apart from, I mean, I've known some of the activities you have shared to us. So it's that all? Like, I don't want to ask you to list all activities, but can I ask you to summarize the aspect that the teacher need to cover in order to explore the reading text to its full?
As I told you from the beginning, thank you, Ms. Ha, for your question. As I told you from the beginning, we need to base our activities and our teaching on the principles. It also depends on the skill that we are teaching. Each skill has its own nature. So I think that the activities that we want the student to enjoy must be based on some of the principle that I showed you from the beginning, plus the top-down and the bottom-up process. Because as far as I remember, when I read a book from the experts, they said that when you can design activities that help the student to develop their top-down or bottom-up processing skill, then you are helping the student to develop the skill-based, yeah, I'm typing, skill-based approach or strategy-based approach. Okay, so it depends on the stages of your lesson that you want to focus on which of these. Okay, the skill-based approach is suitable for activities that are related to the bottom-up process. So if you want the student to learn vocabularies, for example, to learn new concepts, you want the student to focus on the specific ideas, specific words, specific phrases, and you can use this kind of activity, the bottom-up processing activities. They are skill-based. But if you want the student to develop the strategy-based ability, reading ability, then you can design the activities that are more related to the top-down processing. Okay, in which the student will have to approach the reading from a broader perspective. I think that the activity that are strategy-based can be used first at the first stages of the lesson, and the skill-based activities can be used at the later stages of the lesson. Okay, but it all depends on what you want the student to learn in that reading. Maybe some reading, in some reading you want the student to focus on the reading skill itself, or you want the student to learn some new words because you think that the language in that reading may be useful for the student to use in their writing. Yeah, so it depends completely on what you want the student to learn from a reading text. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. These activities work in both intensive and extensive reading. Mhm. We're talking about intensive and extensive. When you talk about intensive, that means you work with the student in a limited time in the class. So this is the time when you can show the student the skills and the strategies they need to develop. You don't show them by telling them about the skill. You need to involve them in the activities so that they can learn the skill themselves. And once they have developed these skills, I think that they can confidently use these skills for their extensive reading, which they can do on their own. They can choose which textbook or which kind of materials they want to read. And the skills that you have to help the student to develop in the intensive class, in an intensive reading class, will naturally, will subconsciously be manipulated when they do the extensive reading, I think. Yeah. So, Ms. Tanding, is my answer clear enough for you?
Hello.
Hello? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
thank
can
you.
hear you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay.
So from what I understand, I could see that these activities will work first in the intensive classes, and after that they can apply, or they do it naturally, a habit of applying these activities themselves in extensive reading.
Yeah, I think
Is that
so.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Mhm.
Any other question, attendees, you want to share with us? Some experience? Okay, Miss No. I think that Miss Mai Cheng is typing. Maybe she want to share with us some of her experience. Yeah. Okay, so if we have no more, Ms. Mai Cheng has got, I just hope to have another sharing session like this later. Hopefully, yeah. Thank you, Mai. Hopefully, yeah. So if we don't have any other questions related to arousing student interest in the reading in an online reading class, I think that the webinar should come to the end now. Again, thank you very much for your participation, your attention and participation, and your very, very interesting contribution to the webinar. I hope that the experience and the activities are useful for you, can be applicable in your class. Okay. So I will hand over to Mr. Tố Nữ to have some summary. Yeah. Oh. Thank you, Ms. Vang Trang, and thank you, Mr. Trang Lam. Yeah. Tố Nữ, would you like to say some words to end this webinar? No, Miss No, I cannot hear you very well, so I don't know if other people can hear you. Can everybody hear Miss No? She is talking to us. No, I think that there's a problem with the microphone.